Compustar Pro T13 installed on my car almost a week. Tomorrow will make exactly 1 week that I've had this security system installed on my car. I really love this system. One of the small things that I found that I'm going to try to troubleshoot today, and that is when I remote start with my Compustar. When I remote start, the car starts no problem, but the driver's side ventilation does not come on how it used to come on. It is now instead the passenger side. So what I'm going to try to do is troubleshoot that and figure it out. I called my tech Justin. He called Compustar. They couldn't really give him an answer. You know, basically they said that shouldn't be happening, and they referred him to like a second troubleshooting department, and they also said that shouldn't be happening. So in our cars in Uconnect, you can set up where you can check on if you want the ventilation to come on when you start the car by remote, or you can check it off. So I'm going to troubleshoot it. What I'm going to do is remote start my car, and then we're going to get in the car and I'm going to show you exactly what it's doing. And what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to troubleshoot that. All right, so it's going to get pretty loud once I start this car, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Compustar. And by the way, I have a rubber band on it because what I wanted to do is keep the actual plastic film that's on the actual screen. I ordered a leather case, but until that comes, I wanted to keep the original plastic on the screen so it won't get scratched up. So what I did was I put some Scotch tape on both sides and I put a rubber band so it won't lift off. So just ignore that. But all right, here we go. What I'm gonna do is just go ahead and start it. You hold down 3 seconds to start, to remote start your car with this Compustar T13. Once I do this remote start, it's gonna get pretty loud in here, and more than likely I'm gonna have to get in the car because you won't be able to hear me. But you will see a timer right here, and it'll show exactly how much time I have left. Also, once you get in with the Compustar, you need to step on the brake. If you sit in the car too long without stepping on the brake, the car is gonna automatically shut off. It's gonna think somebody's trying to take the car. So you do have a time frame that they give you before the car will just shut off. All right, so here we go. 1, 2, 3. Proximity on the T13, it still works like factory. If you get the T12, you do not get the actual proximity. All right, the proximity feature I'll explain once we're in the car where it's not so loud, has 2 different ways that it works. All right, so now that I'm in my car, you can hear me a little bit better. So it shows that the timer is still going. All right, as you can see, I have 23 minutes and 15 seconds left before my car shuts off. What I was doing was I was not stepping on the brake fast enough. I would be at the gym and I would be, you know, in my car. I would be in the gym. I'll start my car before I come out. I'm finished with my workout. I'll start my car from the gym. When I finish with my workout, I would come to my car, I would drink my protein shake, and my car was already remote started. Yes, the timer was still going, as you can see like this, but I was not stepping on the brake fast enough. And what I found that was happening was if you don't step on the brake too fast, the car automatically shuts off. So let me hurry up and step on it right now, just so you can see. And the car shut off. All right, so I just restarted my car now by stepping on the brake and pushing the button. Let me go down to seats and comfort. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to hit off right here. So auto on, driver heat, ventilated seats, and steering wheel is now off. So you can have it where it's set to remote starts and all starts. So what I just did was I just turned it to off so it won't come on. Now I'm gonna get the key that he programmed. He did not program this extra red key right here. All right, he didn't have to because they all kind of sync together once they all kind of sync together once he programs one. But what happened was the Compustar remote he used my other red key. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to start my car with the red key with the remote that he used. All right, he did not use this red key. I had this red key on me. He used my other red key. So I'm gonna see if now I can start the car with that red key that he programmed, and see if maybe that stops this issue with my car basically shutting off when I don't step on the actual the brake fast enough. So let me just go ahead and shut the car off now and try that, now that I have this to where this is off like this. So let's just see. I have this key right here, which is the key that I always have on me. All right, this red key, and then I have the key that he programmed. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remote start my car with this red key. There's a code you gotta do when you wanna start it with your actual key, and it's lock, unlock, lock. You gotta press on this red key remote. So you don't have to use this Compustar key. You can use your red key to start the car, and it's just basically like this: lock, unlock, lock. For some reason that worked. I don't know how that worked, but I just clearly had the actual feature off. Now both the driver and the actual passenger came on. So it's got to be something with this key that he was telling me. There is a priority feature with a certain key or something like that he was telling me about. So this key is the key that he used to do his programming, and I put tape on it so I wouldn't forget. All right, and here I have my black key, which is right here. So now that I've actually started my car with the key that he used to program, you know, it's just strange, because now I remote started it. Now the driver and the actual passenger came on, which is I guess better than just the passenger, because at least mine came on. So now let me go back to settings. All right, and go down to seats and comfort. All right, it's showing that it's off, yet on the remote start with the key that he programmed, it's now on. Both are on. So there's definitely something different about these keys. All right, so this is incredible. So this red key is the key that he used to program my Compustar Pro T13. All right, I had on my neck this red key. All right, and here's my remote, my Compustar T13 remote. All right, so he used the remote because he was setting it up with this key, and basically I can see that now when I start with this key, for some reason everything now is back to how it was. So for some reason with the key that was not programmed, when you started, the car acts different. So maybe because this wasn't the key that he programmed. So now I'm finding out that it seems like whenever I start with this key, as soon as I get in my car and step on the brake, it shuts off. So I guess this is the key I need to be carrying right now. I'm still troubleshooting, but I gotta figure it out. And right now the system actually worked better than it has been. I started the car with this key and not the Compustar, the key he programmed, this red key. I did the lock, unlock, lock. The car started, and now both ventilations are on, which is perfect. All right, the seat ventilation is on my driver's side and on the passenger side when I still have it on off. So you know, it's very strange how this is working, but it is working now, so I prefer that. So let me just put this back to all starts, and what we'll do is I'll give the car some time, I'll shut it off, give it some time, and then basically now try to start with my actual Compustar key and see if that makes a difference when I start with the Compustar key, which is here. See if I start with this key now, if it works properly, because now both work, but I can see there's a difference. So when I start my car with this red key, both ventilations come on both seats. All right, the issue I was having when I was just starting with this Compustar key initially it was just the passenger seat was coming on and not the driver's seat like how it always did. So what I did was I tried using the red key that I had that he did not use to do the actual programming, and I tried to troubleshoot to see if maybe if I use my red key that now my driver's seat would come back on. So I did the lock, unlock, lock 2 days ago. I think it was yesterday or maybe the day before. And when I got in my car, it was still showing the passenger seat. All right. So it didn't fix the problem. But I noticed when I stepped on the brake, the car shut off. So I was like, why is that happening? So I called him, asked him. He said maybe it was because I was taking too long. But now I see it really has something to do with this key that he programmed, this red key. So now I'm curious to see if the ventilation comes on how it did now with the driver's seat and the passenger seat, now that I've kind of reset the system, I guess, with this key that he programmed, with the red key that he programmed. Now I want to see if I can go back to my Compustar and see if it'll do what it just did now. You know, it's probably kind of confusing for you guys, but hopefully you can follow. Let me give the car some time. It's 1:56 right now. I'll give the car some time before I start it again. I don't like to keep starting my car too frequently. It seems like it does not want to start when I start the car too frequently. So let me just shut the car off right now. And so the timer is still going on the actual remote, like the engine is still running. It's not. All right, so now it shows that my timer is still going, like the car is still going, like the engine's still running. I'm assuming maybe because I used that other key. I don't know, that other red key. But right now I'm about to arm the system and see if that stops. All right, so of course it stops, arm lock, and it shows that the timer stopped. So I'll give the car some time before I restart. All right, so it's been a little over an hour that has passed since the last clips you just saw. I wanted to wait at least an hour so I can hope that the system got reset on what I did. So just to retouch on what I did, this is my Compustar Pro T13 key that you really want to use. I have mine set up to whereas you can still use this red key. It doesn't matter if they copy the key fob, they cannot get past the Compustar technology. So I have my key where it still kind of works. For the most part, you can have this program to whereas it doesn't work while this is armed. So you would have to unarm your Compustar so you can use your red key. You could have it set up that way, or you could have it set up to whereas it can still work when this is armed. You can still unlock your car. You can go back and forth, however you want to do it. So I would prefer to have both keys. God forbid something goes wrong with this key or something in the system, at least I still have my original OEM keys that I can use. But for the most part, if something goes wrong, I would assume the car wouldn't start. So I would be asked out no matter what. But what I want to do is now show you these are my separate keys. This red key, like I said before, is the key that he used to do the install. All right, and this is my black key. We're not even going to talk about that. But when I just use this red key to start my actual car with the lock, unlock, and lock, the car started, and sure enough, perfectly, both ventilations were on. I don't even think from factory both ventilations come on. All right, from what I remember with this car for the years that I've had it, almost 4 years, just the driver's side comes on. It even says that in the settings. It doesn't say anything about the passenger. So I'm a little shocked now how both are coming on, but I'm fine with that as long as the driver comes on. The last thing you want is to remote start your car and you come to your car on a hot day or a cold day and just the passenger seat is ventilated or heated. All right, you're the driver. You want the driver's side to be ventilated or heated. So now I'm gonna put this key down, and now I'm gonna hope that the system is reset, and now I'm gonna start my car with the Compustar and hope that both seats are now ventilated, and we're gonna see. Or if it's just the driver's seat, I'm fine with that. But I just hope it's just still not the passenger seat, because if it's just the passenger seat, then that means the problem's not fixed, and the only way I guess to get both is to use that red key to start, which is fine, but I would just have to know that that's something that I would have to deal with. If I'm starting my car close, I can use that red key, but if I'm 3 miles away, I can't use the red key. I would have to use this key, and of course it would just be the ventilated seat on the passenger side, so I would just have to manually change it. It's not that big of a deal, but I'm just trying to troubleshoot if anyone else has the same problem. So let's just see. So let me hold down for 3 seconds. All right, car is about to start. We'll get in. All right, it's showing that I have 24 minutes to get in my car, so. And here we go, the problem still exists. So the passenger seat is basically still the only one, passenger seat vent. So technically this does not fix the problem, so I'm not too happy right now, but overall you can hear my passenger seat. Let me just go ahead and pop the garage real fast. So now I see that the only way to get my driver's seat and my passenger seat, or you know, what I really care about is the driver's seat. To get my driver's seat to ventilate, I have to use that red key that he programmed. All right, looks like that's the only way, unless maybe I go back to him and we reprogram something. All right, now I'm gonna start it with the red key. Lock, unlock, lock. All right, the red key that he programmed. Get in the car. And once again now, passenger ventilation is just still the passenger. I wonder if I turn it off. I wonder if I turn it off like I did, will that do anything? Let me just see. Now the car won't, now I can step on the brake and it won't shut off. Something's going on with me, with this Compustar now. When I step on the brake, it's shutting off for some reason. Let me just go to settings and do like I did before, and go to seats and comfort, and then now put it off, and then now instead of all, it's weird. It's working when it's off. It makes no sense. So it seems like it's working when it's off. So now it was already on all seats. Now I just put it to off. Now I'm gonna stop my car, shut the car off, and just go back and make sure it stayed off. Seats and comfort. All right, it is off. When I turned it off last time and then used that key that I just used, they were both on. So now I'm gonna actually use my actual Compustar key and see if it's on now. Maybe you just need to have it off. All right, now let me get out of the car. Both keys, these are the keys that are these are my separate keys. This is the key he actually used to program, and this is the black key. I'm gonna just now disregard this key, and I'm just going to see if the Compustar can now get it to work since I put it to off. Maybe that was the problem. All right, I'm going to arm the system. All right, now it's armed. All right, let me do a remote start. 1, 2, 3. In the car. You gotta be kidding me. Now they're both on. Now they're both on. So that's the problem. You got to be kidding me. So it has nothing to do with the key. It's all about having it off. When I have it off, now they both are on. Wow. All right, so it looks like it doesn't have anything to do with the key. I'm finding it out now. It does not have anything to do with the key. It's about the setting. You have to have the setting off for this to work. It's incredible. So with my Compustar key, it looks like the system, the ventilated seats are both on. All right, as you can see, driver's seat is on and the passenger, and as you can see at the top, it tells you up top they're both on, and they're both on. But if you go to settings and then go to seats and comfort, it's off. So auto on, driver heat ventilated seats and steering wheel, it's off. But somehow with the Compustar setup, they both come on when you turn it off. But when it's on all starts, like how it should be, you can do remote starts or all starts. When it's off, now it's working. So I don't know if maybe if I put it on remote start, would that do anything different? I'm not really sure. I have to test that out. But for the most part, it's off in the settings. Yet when I started my car with it off, both came on. I don't know. Let me just see what this timer's doing. All right, so the timer is now off on the remote. So if I wanted to drive off, I could. The car didn't shut off this time when I used the Compustar. But when I used the remote right before it, the remote that he actually programmed, I think when I use that remote, this timer is still going. I have to either maybe unarm or something like that. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's armed. I haven't really figured that out, but I'll figure that out. But it looks like I fixed the problem. Looks like the problem is you have to have this set to off for it to work. It makes no sense, but that's what it looks like. All right, just for shits and giggles, what I'm going to do is I'm going to now put this on remote and see if that does anything. I'm just curious to see what that does. All right, so now that we know that having it on all starts does not work when you remote start. So now, you have to have it off for the remote start to turn on. So now I'm going to put this to remote start and see what happens when I remote start. Let's just see now if both come on like they're on right now. Let's just see. So let me turn the car off. Let me back out of this. All right. Now let me turn this car off. All right. Let me get out. All right, now I have it set to remote start, not all starts. All starts would be remote start, and if I started it by getting in and pushing on the actual red button. All right, now with my Compustar, let me just arm first. All right, the system is now armed and locked up. Let me give it some time before I restart this car to see if the ventilation is now on the driver's side and the passenger side, how when you have it checked to off. All right, so 3 seconds. So it stayed. So I guess I can keep it on remote start. So it stayed. So they're both on now. It's incredible. So on remote start, it's on. So for some reason, just lock this first. Lock. Armed. Disarm. Unlock again. Disarm, unlocked. Alright, so now I stepped on the brake and nothing happened. The car stayed running. It did not shut off, thank God. And it looks like I figured out the problem. So here's the problem. you have to have either on your settings where it says seats and comfort, you have to have it on off, which is strange, or remote starts. For some reason, you can't have it on all starts like how you would be initially. You cannot have it on all starts. It has to be on off or remote start. They both came on. All right, my ventilated seats came on my driver's side and my passenger side. All right, it's 84 degrees out. If it was the winter time, below a certain degrees, Fahrenheit, it would be heat. So it would be the heated seats that would come on the driver's side and the passenger side. All right, and it looks like that's the two that you have to have checked. You have to have it either checked off, or you have to have it checked on remote start only. If you put it on all starts, for some reason, this last one, for some reason, it only puts this ventilated passenger seat on. It will not put on your driver's seat. So it looks like I figured it out. So it has nothing to do with the remotes, I guess. At this point, it's just the settings. But it doesn't make sense because you would put off as a setting and it wouldn't be on quite naturally. But technically, with off, that's how it stays on. Or if you keep remote start checked, then it stays on. But when you do all starts, how I've had it before, it basically it's not gonna work. So I'm assuming now, if I was to stop my car and just start it manually, will they both come on now? Because now with all starts, you would think that means that this push button start, it'll start the ventilation, and the actual remote starting will start the ventilation. With all starts, when you just do remote start, that means to me, I would think that it's only just a remote, and when you press the button, it wouldn't. But maybe it would. I don't know. I'd have to test that out. But that's going to pretty much conclude this video. It looks like I figured it out. So I'll just leave it on remote start because I like how that looks better than off. I mean, it looks better to me to have remote start checked and it actually be on and it comes on instead of having it off and it comes on. You know, it works. It looks like either way. But I'm going to keep it on remote start, and that may be the actual solution to the problem. So what I can see is the system, I guess with the Compustar, something is different, or something's configured differently, or somehow, or maybe it's a feature that's meant to be like that. But once you actually have, or maybe how it was set up, I'm not really sure. But once you have that checked to off or to remote only, now both seats ventilate when you use the remote. So that looks like that's going to be it. I'll keep watching it. That's going to be the end of this video. But for the most part, that looks like that's my my resolution to the problem. It looks like I figured it out. You have to check either off in seats and comfort or remote only. All right, so seats and comfort. I'm sorry. So it's either off or remote starts. All right, for some reason you can't have all starts checked. If you have all starts checked, when you get in your car after you remote start it with your key, only the passenger side will be ventilated, not the driver's side, which is what any driver will want. You want your driver's side to be heated or cooled when you come out. You can care less about the passenger seat because you're not going to be over there. You want the driver's side. So I'm assuming that's what my issue is. I don't know if it would be everyone's issue or it's just how mine was set up. But right now, with the remote start checked, it worked, and when it was off, I realized that it was working. And when I have all starts on, how it's supposed to be, it's not. It's only doing the passenger side ventilation. But when I put it to off, both are coming on, which never happened from factory. It would just be the driver. And now when I do remote start, both still come on. So clearly it looks like when you have all starts, only the passenger side works. So that's the troubleshoot in this video. Hopefully it helps someone. Hopefully, if you do come across this problem, maybe you'll come across this video and you'll be able to now figure this out.